Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 24. All right, I'm really glad again you all are here. Come in quietly, find somewhere comfortable. If you can, put your feet flat on the floor. I'll explain why that matters in a few minutes. Okay? So, are we ready with that? And I want you to be fully present in today's session. Okay? hmm Now, as we start in a moment, today we are going somewhere that I think will explain things about yourself that you have never had words for. So, with that, I would request you to write maybe one line on, in the comment section, one something that only one line that your body has been trying to tell you something. Maybe anything that you feel. It can be like it's falling sick many times, or say uh, it is feeling exhausted. Anything you would like to describe it, just say it. It's like I said, we have been doing this for a while now. We know that this is something, a way your body is trying to communicate. So I would like you to leave it in the comment. And with that, take a deep breathe in, count 4, be here completely. Exhale for count 6. And let us understand this. Your body has been carrying something for a while. And today we begin to understand what it is. So now we have started this week with emotional awareness, right? This is the week 4. And we are moving beyond this emotional awareness, and we are entering this emotional transformation. Rather, we have already entered the week 4. So, as you begin understanding your nervous system, emotional patterns, relationships, inner conditioning, you start realizing something very important, isn't it? The mind may try to move on. However, the body often remembers what the mind tries to suppress. This is extremely important for us to know. And today's conversation, hence, is deeply important because many people today are not only carrying stress in their thoughts alone, they are carrying emotional survival responses inside their body. And the challenge is, many don't even realize it. Yes, this is something we often ignore. So, with this, as we start the session today, tell me if this has ever happened to you. Yeah. And this we have touched upon, like, say, you are going someplace, you even go for, say, a party, or a place, a crowded place, a meeting room, anything, and suddenly your body starts feeling that discomfort, which has no reason. You're not able to explain why. You yourself don't know why, and nothing bad is happening. In fact, nobody said anything wrong. In fact, nobody said anything at all. However, your chest suddenly, contracts, closes, your breathing shallows. Something in you wants to leave. Has that ever happened to you? Or say you are in a conversation that is completely fine, completely calm, and something small is said, maybe in a different tone of voice, or say a particular word, and suddenly your heart is racing and you go out of that, steady mode, and your hands are trembling, slightly trembling, and you feel like 6 years old. Yeah. Or say, let us take one more situation, like you have been fine for years together, you have processed everything, just presuming that you have talked about it in therapy session, journaled about it, made peace with it, yet your body still responds as though it hasn't. This has that happened anytime, because this is very important. And with all of these scenarios that we just went one by one, have you ever wondered why? Have you ever tried to figure out why does this happen? Why your mind can know you are safe and your body still refuses to believe it? And it's not that, again, this is not something about weak people experiences it XYZ. Many a times any people can experience or say they would have experience. But the only difference is we ignore that and move ahead. And for some, it becomes so intense that they stop by and want to check why this is happening. And today I'm going to explain exactly what is happening. And it is going to change how you understand yourself fundamentally, that nothing about how you have been treating yourself will look the same afterward. Because the reason you cannot think your way out of that anxiety, out of freeze, out of the patterns, you know, are hurting you is not because you are weak or not strong enough or, not smart enough, not healed enough, XYZ. No. It is because the pain was never stored in your mind in the first place. It was stored in your body. And I must say, you must read this book from Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. And he has spent 30 years proving this, that the body keeps the score. Now, I again want to ask you another question. And let's be honest. And even if I will tell you that many people are still not, comfortable to share everything in the comments. I'm absolutely okay. However, I would still would like, if you can, please put it in the comments. Where in your body do you feel that stress or anxiety first? Like when such situation arises all of a sudden, where is or where does it show up in your body? Whether it is your chest, whether it is your stomach, shoulders, throat, just name the place. Yes, that's data. Whatever it is data. And today you are going to understand exactly what it means. And again, for those of you joining me for the first time, I'm Ishita Bakchi. I'm a life coach specializing in emotional intelligence, a counseling psychologist, a DMIT counselor, and I also work with healing practices like pranic, Reiki, and crystal. And again, what my work really focuses on is exactly what we are talking about today. And the understanding that healing is not only a mental or emotional process, it is a physical one. That's the reason I work with both psychological frameworks and body based healing practices like pranic, Reiki, energy work. And it's because I have seen again and again that the mind alone cannot reach everything that needs to be healed. Somewhat, some of it lives in the body, and the body needs a different kind of language to release it, believe it or not. And today we are going to talk about giving you that language in detail. So we are on day 24. We have built so much, that is self awareness, identity, emotional intelligence in relationships. I'm sure yesterday session would have been much more intense for people who are in relationship. And again, I'm not only talking about the personal relationship, it is also the professional relationship as well. And today we go to the deepest layer, the one breath, the thoughts beneath the feelings, beneath the stories you have told yourself about who you are. We go to the body where everything began and where real healing actually lives. So, hope we are ready with that. Yes, I see that many of them came up. This is, the throat. Whenever, people, now I see people opening up saying, yes, they are feeling that, condition in the throat. Yes, absolutely. Because in such situation, you experience probably, say, in the right moment, you become silent or you become aggressive while talking to someone. So these are all the events, the way your body holds it. With this, let me again share one more story, because these are the instances that is very close. This story is about a 12-year-old boy. So a mother brought her 12-year-old son to me after 3 years of unexplained physical symptoms. It was like a chronic, you know, tremors in his hands during those stressful moments. Then recurring headaches that no doctor could explain neurologically. So definitely before coming to counseling, definitely they have done their part of going to do the all pre-checks. Definitely this is something is needed before doing any counseling in such situations where the physical symptoms shows up. We always suggest them to go for those vital checks, the test which is suggested by the doctors, because once that clears it all, we can drill down for the main reason. That's what this topic or today's session is all about. So he had been tested for everything, like I said. Every result came normal. Still, he was facing that situation. And I would say he was not even sick. However, his body was clearly holding something, because that tremors, even I have seen this. So I remember we sat together, and I noticed his hands. It was a little, there was a tremors that was showing up. He was holding them very deliberately, still in his lap, like that. He's trying to control so that it should not be visible to anyone. Like he was concentrating on making them not shake. Sometimes he's holding hands like this so that it doesn't show up. And I asked him, does that happen a lot? The trembling. He looked down and said, only when I'm scared. However, I'm not scared of anything. I don't know why it happens. There was such a, hesitant or shame in that sentence. What could a 12-year-old boy have? And this 12-year-old boy, ashamed of his own nervous system. Because here's a lot of things goes in the mind, when these things happen, that um, the test shows normal, nothing is coming up, and then still the issue has not gone. What is it all about? And it is very difficult to explain to anybody that, okay, my tests are normal, my all diagnosis is fine, but then why I'm still feeling exhausted? Why? So, like for him, it is like, why still my trembling is not gone? So, I asked him to tell me about a moment, any moment that he remembers, that when this shaking actually started. So definitely, it is very difficult to let the kids speak, and it didn't happen on a day concession. This takes time, because the most important thing is they take time to open up, to be comfortable, and it is okay. The only thing is that if it's a kid, we have to be patient, even say the parents, and there shouldn't be any judgment on that. So when I asked him when did it started, he thought for a while, and then he said very quietly, when my parents fight. That was that actually made me numb for a while. So even when I am in the next room, he said all of that. Even when he's in the next room, I can hear the words. And my hands start before even I know they are arguing. So, like I covered in my previous sessions, that with your past events, even if the situation not have not come in, or not started yet, the unpredictability of it becomes too intense. Now, when we talk about this as a kid facing all of this also happened for, say, in a relationship, say, a couple relationship where there is lot of unpredictability in the relation, where the communication sudden take a wrong turn. So what happens is, the moment certain, the encounter happens, there is often a time where, say, the other person becomes so emotionally overwhelmed, because that person is not sure how the next person is going to react, and the nervous system starts reacting already, thinking that, oh my god, I will do this and the other person is going to talk or raise his voice or say something which probably the other person won't like it. And just imagine, his for this kid, right, before he could consciously register the threat, like he said, even when it not yet started, his body has already had. Probably that would be the events or series of events where they would have known that, okay, the moment this thing is there, or they two are, parents are together, something might happen, and the moment it starts. And again, I will say there is nobody to blame here, even the parents at this point. I do understand there are situations, because I always say the blame is not going to resolve any solution. Feeling bad will not solve the problem. So, what is needed is what we need to do, that his nervous system, as had learned since years, over the years, that living in an unpredictable emotional environment needs that constant scanning for the earliest signal of the danger. Like I gave you this example, and even I have talked about it earlier, that when you don't know the moment, like, the other person, say the person who is coming in, and he suddenly becomes rude or his voice raised up. So whether it is a little boy or a wife or anybody in the relation, they will not know that, okay, uh, you know that becomes like an unpredicted emotion that can come up, and the person who is in the other end, the body will start get the signal of danger, and it had become so sensitized, so finely tuned to that thread, that it was firing at frequencies a conscious mind couldn't even detect yet. So his body was not malfunctioning. His body was doing its job perfectly. The problem was, it had never given, it had never been given permission to stop. And we worked together for nearly 3 to 4 months, not on his thoughts or on his grades, his confidence, his self esteem, all of which his parents were worried about. We worked on his body, teaching it slowly, session by session, that it was safe to put the alarm down. You don't have to be in an alert mode. And after, say, 6 weeks or so, his mother sent a message, and she said, I don't know what you're doing. Uh, However, last week when my husband and I argued, the boy came to the kitchen afterward, made himself a glass of water, and went back to his room. So I could see there was no shaking, no such aches the next day. He just handled it. So he didn't handle it because he became braver or tougher or more resilient in the way we usually mean that word. He handled it because his body finally learned for the first time that it could feel the wave of threat and not be taken under by it. His body learned it was safe. When the body feels safe, everything else become possible. Now, with this, I again want you to type in the comment, how many of you right now can think of that physical symptom? It can be tightness, it can be tremors, it can be pain, a pattern in your body that you never connected to an emotional experience. And I would like you to drop probably a thumbs up just if today's story already made you think of something. With that, I know this was a bit of emotional, and yes, we just have to learn certain methods to overcome such scenarios. Yes, thank you. Now, let us understand the core teaching, the science of the stored emotional responses. So, as we know, three pillars, that is Vanderkock on trauma physiology, Peter Levine on stored somatic responses, and the neuroscience of the body brain connection. So, this is the most intellectually dense, probably, uh, information that I'm going to talk about it. So, part one, let us understand why trauma is not a memory, it is a body state. Okay, and this is we are going to touch upon. Let us understand this. The word trauma gets used in two very different ways. The confusion between them is keeping millions of people stuck. Okay, so most people think of trauma as a story, a terrible thing that happened, and they think that if they have talked about the story enough, processed it, understood it, made peace with it, the trauma is healed. However, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, I frequently hear him read his contents. I really resonate with those you know learnings that one of the world's leading probably researchers that has been happened by Dr. Bessel at Boston University. He spent around many years that you know why this is there, and there was a book written by him, The Body Keeps the Score. So he demonstrated through brain scanning studies that during a traumatic experience, the brain's language centers, specifically the Broca's area, responsible for putting the experience into words, that effectively goes offline. The experience is not stored as a coherent narrative in the hippocampus the way normal memories are. Instead, it is encoded as fragmented sensory data. That means images, sounds, physical sensations, smells, held in the body's nervous system and in the amygdala's threat response system. This is why talking alone is often insufficient for trauma healing. The trauma was never stored as a story, it was stored as a body state, and it can only be fully released through the body alone. This is why that boy hands shook before his mind registered those danger. His body held the memory of every argument, every moment of tension, every spike of cortisol, not as a thought, however, as a physical alarm system that activates. It's always on. And this is why you can be completely fine intellectually and still feel it in your chest, still tighten in certain rooms, still react to certain voices, still react to those certain words. So your body is not confused, it is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect you from something it learned was dangerous. Even that danger is no longer present. Trauma is not what happened to you. Trauma is what happened inside your body in response to that, what happened, and what your body never got the chance to complete and release. Yes, it's really heavy because it took me years to understand, connects a lot of dots with my personal events, with the when I started talking to people, I heard their stories and everything started making sense. Then part 2, the incomplete survival response. Peter Levine and stored emotion. So, Dr. Peter Levine, founder of Somatic Experiencing, made a discovery studying animals in the wild that changed everything about how we understand human trauma. All right. So, he observed that prey animals in the wild, gazelles, deer, rabbits, are regularly threatened by predators. Agreed? They are. They activate an enormous surge of fight or flight energy. And when the threat passes, these animals go through a period of involuntary trembling, shaking, and full body discharge. This is the nervous system completing the survival response cycle, releasing the mobilized energy that was not fully used. Humans, however, learn to override this natural discharge process. We were conditioned by shame, social expectations, the need to hold it together, to suppress these involuntary physical responses. The energy that was mobilized for survival, however, never discharged, stays locked in the body's tissues, muscles, nervous system, sometimes for decades. And this is the stored emotional response. This is what creates chronic anxiety, hypervigilance, numbness, chronic pain, and the inability to feel safe even in safe environments. Now, think about a time where you were in a frightening situation, a near accident, a confrontation, a moment of shock, and someone said, "Calm down, you're fine," before your body had a chance to shake, cry, or discharge. That energy went somewhere. It didn't dissolve. It went inward into your muscles, your jaw, your diaphragm, your hips, your lower back. This is why this chronic physical tension so often sits in the same places where we hold those emotional pain. The body's geography of stress is not random. It is a map of everything you were never allowed to feel. So let me tell you one thing. When, say, for that boy, or say the situation, like the body is not betraying you when it shakes or freezes or tenses without reason. It is trying to complete something that was interrupted. The shaking is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is body's built-in healing mechanism finally trying to do its job. Now, with this, you will see that that's why we often talk about let let the things, let the feeling come up. Don't suppress it. Otherwise, the body will show up. And with that, part 3, the gut brain axis. Now, here is something that will make you look at your physical symptoms, your gut, your digestion, your chronic tension completely differently. So, the enteric nervous system and the gut brain research, that is, The nervous system of the gut contains approximately 500 million neurons, more neurons than the spinal cord. It communicates with the brain via the vagus nerve. And research from Columbia University has demonstrated that 90% of the signals on this nerve travel from the gut upward the brain, not the other way around. And the gut is not just digesting food, it is processing emotional experience. Studies from UCLA and King's College London have directly linked unresolved emotional stress to IBS, chronic inflammation, and altered gut microbiome composition. So, the physical symptoms you have been treating as medical problems maybe this body's attempt to speak a language your mind has refused to hear. Yes. And research on this fascia and emotional storage, Dr. Ida Rolf and biophysical research fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds and permeates every muscle, organ, and nerve in the body, has been shown in the recent biophysical research to hold mechanical tension patterns corresponding to the emotional stress states. So, Dr. Ida Raw's structural integration work, now supported by modern biotensecrities research, demonstrates that chronic emotional suppression creates measurable physical holding patterns in the fascial network. This is the physical substrate of what energy healing traditions have described for centuries, that unprocessed emotion lives, you know, probably they stay as tension, restriction, and energy disruption. This is why, the healing practices like pranic healing, Reiki, and other energy based practices have a place in serious trauma work, not as alternatives to psychology, but as complements to it. Because when we work with the body's energy field, we are working with real, measurable, physical structures that psychology alone cannot always reach. The mind, the emotions, the energy body, the physical body, they are not separate systems. They are one system. And healing that ignores any layer leaves the others incomplete. So the boy healing required all of it. Understanding, yes. However, also teaching his body, breath by breath, session by session, that the alarm could come down. And that's how we could able to, help him come out of that state. So this practice probably let us now, as we always do one such practice in every session. This practice probably is somatic, that is entirely body based. Okay, so probably it is different from every other previous practice in the journey. So now I want you to close your eyes, okay, once you're comfortable, and take a deep breath in and exhale. Take another deep breath in and exhale. So, as I said, today's practice works at the level where the healing actually needs to happen, that is the body. So, this is called body scan release practice. It will just take 5 minutes. You can do it every morning, every evening, or any moment you feel your body tightening around an emotion. It doesn't know how to release. Find a position that feels supported, either sitting, lying down, whatever allows your body to fully arrive. If you're sitting, then both your feet on the floor, and then keep your eyes closed if you're comfortable. Now, step one, stop living from the neck up. Take 3 slow breaths. Not much deep, however, slow and steady. And every time as you exhale, feel the weight of your body drop slightly into whatever is supporting you. Feel the temperature of the air. Feel the clothes you're wearing. You're not thinking right now, you're just sensing, feeling. That distinction is everything. Because the body speaks in sensation, not in thought. All right? So just be fully here and feel the senses. Now that comes with step two, the scan. Let the body speak, don't correct it. Slowly move your attention through your body from crown of your head downward. Head, jaw. Is it holding? Throat. Is there any kind of a constriction? Chest. Is it light or tighten? Stomach. Is there a kind of churning or, some kind of a numbness, upsetting feeling? Hips, thighs, knees, feet. Don't try to change anything. Don't judge anything. Just notice. And you're not fixing right now, you're just witnessing. The body begins to release the moment it feels witnessed. That is the science behind it. And that is also the grace. All right? Just witness it. Notice. Then comes step three, go where the body resists. One place in your body holds more than the others right now. So you will feel it, a heaviness, a tightness, a warmth, a numbness. Place your hand there gently, not to fix it, just to acknowledge it. Breath should be steady and slow. Now imagine your breath moving toward it, not away from it. And ask, how long have you been holding this? You don't need an answer. Just question alone is a form of you're giving a permission, acknowledging the condition. Then, step four, the release breath. Let the body do what it knows how to do. Now, take one full breathe in, slow through the nose, filling the belly upward. At the top of the breath, pause for 2 counts. Then release through the mouth, completely uncontrolled. Let it be a sign, a shudder, a sound if one comes. Whatever the body offers, let it. This is the discharge Peter Levin described. You are not performing this, you are allowing it. Do this 3 times. Each time, notice when the tightness shifts, even fractionally, it will. The body always responds to being heard. Then, step Y, one word of gratitude to the body. And let me tell you this change your entire, you know, entire thing in your life. Like the body that held everything deserved to be thanked. So we often this gratitude practice. So that's why here we are talking about intentional gratitude to the body. That's why whenever we suggest somebody to always practice gratitude every day. So many a times people ask me, nothing happened today, whom to say thanks, nothing great happened. You say thanks for every small thing that happened. There are a lot of things that happen good in your life. So let's do it now. Like with your hand still on your body, say silently or loud one word of gratitude, not for being perfect, for surviving, for holding everything that felt too heavy to carry consciously, for keeping you here. The relationship between your mind and body changes the moment you stop treating your body as something to be managed and start treating it as something that has been loyally carrying you through everything you couldn't face. So, when I talk about this gratitude practice, and when people say that what you should be thankful for the day, say that I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful I'm able to breathe today. I'm thankful for the food I actually ate. I'm thankful for the family who supported me to do this task. Like today morning, I had an extended meet and greet career session. I'm thankful to my family, my son and husband, to help me out so that I could attend that. So these are very small things that need not have to be that big. Those small gestures that will change your entire perspective to life. And again, don't rush into everything. You can't do everything overnight. Like you can't expect a change that, okay, today we did thanks and then from tomorrow everything fits in. No, it is a consistent process that needs to be done every time. Now, I want to know, I want to know from you just one word in the comment. What did you just noticed? Just one word that came in your body during the practice, during this entire practice. If you feel comfortable, you can share it in the chat. So, as you saw, this practice is about 5 minutes. Every day you can do it before your mind takes over the morning. Give that 5 minutes to your body first. And it has been waiting for this attention for longer than you know. And I will also like to mention who have been following me for from day one. See, we have been dealing with a lot of situations. Now, you have to see which one is actually apt for me. Try to do that practice consistently. Don't get confused at the end. Maybe you might have that question that, Ishita, you have been giving us every day some exercise. Are we going to do every day? All of them? So, my answer is I have also told you that this exercise to be done for what reasons. So I'm sure one one or two or something is something relevant, or some sensation that you have been feeling that you would like to address. Go to that session, take that, and try doing it, and do it consistently for some time. Okay, this was really very heavy session, right? I mean, I want to take a moment before I say anything else. What you just experienced, even in those few minutes of the practice, is something most people never give themselves. The worst part is we know everything, right? The social media many a times give you all the information, but are we following the right information that we need in our life? Is the self-help book, you read some book, and is it helping you to guide further to do those things? That's where a guided support is needed. Like I said, people even don't want to give those 5 minutes to themselves, to turn toward the body, to ask it what it has been holding. And I want you to understand what that means. Your body has been keeping score of every fear you pushed through, every grief you set aside, every moment of overwhelm you told yourself to get over. It has been holding all of that faithfully and silently, waiting for the day you turn toward it instead of away from it. And today we somehow tried to turn toward it, even a little, and that matters more than you know. So, I want to say honestly, the body scan practice I gave you today is a beginning, a beautiful, important, real beginning. However, trauma has been stored in the body for years, sometimes decades, does not fully release from a 5 minute practice alone, right? It needs to be met consistently, as I told earlier, while giving this practice, by someone who knows how to hold the space for what comes up when the body starts to release what it has been protecting. Because when it comes, you know, and it will come, it can feel enormous. And without the right container, without a safe, skilled presence, people often suppress it again. Not from weakness, from the absence of support. Not only the absence of the support is definitely available around. You just have to go out and look for that, without having that mindset or a block, or certain kind of a hesitant that no, this is not something I am facing. I don't have a mental issue that I should go. Stop labeling all of this. Try to address that issue as a normal illness, like you go to a doctor for certain things, right? Try to get these all situations also addressed when it is needed, at the right time, the right support. And that is what deep coaching with these energy healing work, body based, provides the right support. It's not a shortcut. It's a safe space where the release is not frightening. It is finally completely safe. So, as I said, I do one-on-one session with with all of this, probably considering the physiological or psychological patterns about the nervous system. Yeah. And if anything that resonated with you, like I talked about the experience of that boy, he didn't heal from the explanations alone. Just giving the awareness or talking about it to the parents, like, okay, you stop fighting and your son will be fine. It won't help because that episode is in the mind and the body has kept the score. So, alone of that won't help. Hence, there was a consistent support that could make that thing better. Support, slowly making or feeling safe, of completely, completing what was interrupted earlier. And that is what I want for you. Not more understanding of why you feel the way you feel, the actual felt experience of no longer feeling it again. So, with this, thank you so much for being here today. If you need any such support, you can DM me directly, or there is a way which has been given in the description, the link to book a discovery call with me to understand the real root cause. I would love to work with you and help you. You have been so brave with this work. 24 days of choosing yourself. That is not a small thing. Your body knows it, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. All right. So, tomorrow is day 25. We go into something I know many of you have been waiting for. Please show up. This week matters more than any other thing. Take care of that body today. It has earned your gentleness. All right. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.